this is heading into the castle wall turn. You've got the cobblestone on the right, some sort of gravel on the left. I can't remember exactly where the track went. I know it was slippy, but it could be that we were mainly on that gravel part, because certainly we were turning right by that circular sign there, and I know the track kinked left right to a 90-degree right here and then up that banking there, because there's just an epic photo of Andre Malherbe sliding his factory Honda into that corner, and I'm guessing about there. Maybe I can splice that photo into this video later, but it was left and right. There were not bales. I remember there being like an old mattress up against that wall there. But if you think, we were coming down here at 65 miles an hour, if your throttle stuck and those doors were closed there, I might go in there and see what's the other side of that. Those doors were closed, but it's a solid castle wall. But anyway, we were turning right. There was protection up against that wall here, and bits of sheets of plywood with like sponge underneath. And then we turn right to go up there, and that looks quite simple, but it isn't, because it's so slippy, these cobblestones, that you couldn't really get the power on. You had to be very gingerly with the application of the power until you get to here, and then that's a pretty steep bank from zero run up. So if we go back to this corner, if you went a little bit wider in this corner, so you turned more from the outside here, you could kind of square it off and then get more of a run up, but then that left you open to being blocked past up the inside. So it was quite tricky to get the run up. And I remember this being that they poured tarmac down it. I will attempt to walk up there because that's the only way out of here. I remember there being tarmac on there to give a bit of extra grip, but I got a photo of myself failing to get up that hill, because you've only got to just spit up slightly at the bottom and you wouldn't get up it. Awesome. So that's what you see if you come through that tunnel at the castle wall turn. So this is the inside of the ramparts. I've never been here, but the track goes up to the right. That's where we're going shortly. But that's the drop that would await you if you went off the track to the left of the track as you go up there on the right. So we'll see shortly. So it's a pretty long way down, but it's not hundreds of feet, as some people have said. Look at the size of those doors and those hinges and the lock. Everything about it is just big, isn't it? You wouldn't want to have to hang those doors. So that's the castle wall turn. I had to admit defeat there. I couldn't actually climb up that, just no traction at all. So I've had to go around the outside, but we used to come up that in second gear, I think it was. Jump off the top here, and that's where we're heading up there. But there was always a bit of a kink, so I think we used to go right and left, probably by that, whatever that square thing is on the ground there, to slow it down, because otherwise it would be very, very fast going up that hill. So I think the track used to go right a bit, left around that square plate monument, and then off up the first of the steps, I guess we called them. And it was covered in dirt, but it always used to be tricky to get traction. But now I think I know, because underneath it was these cobblestones. So a thin layer of dirt, and then straight the tar and the cobblestone. So no wonder we didn't get much traction. And up there is the cable car, and that brings people up from the centre of Namur up to the top of the Citadel. So again, the Citadel is the name for this entire hilltop, and this place is enormous. I'm going to take some pictures later of from further away as you approach it, because I never really paid much attention when I was racing. You're just here to do the race and you're concentrating on the track. But as we were driving up to this place, these sort of walls here, they're everywhere. It's an enormous construction project. And I believe there are also miles of hidden catacombs underneath somewhere. So yeah, the Citadel is the entire place, not just that building at the top on the esplanade. So again, that's how close it is to the city. I think this is the other side of the town compared to the clip I took earlier on the first part of the track. So I just walked up that first climb, the first one of the steps, and it's way steeper than I remembered. And off to the side there you've got the moat ramparts, and then the second part of the step, which also is looking a lot steeper than I remember. I seem to remember there being some sort of like second lump here, shallow lump. So if you got a good enough run up that hill, and there wasn't really any lift on that hill, the hill was rounded at the top, but you could carry over that very small lump around there and then get a faster run up the hill. So in the opening of my book I make reference to that, trying to figure out if I can double up that first hill. Well, that was just doubling over that small thing, not doubling right over there. Here's the rampart moat thing, and I like the fact that health and safety is like non-existent. If you want to walk over there and go to the edge and fall to your death, carry on. But never ever realised, all the years I raced here, walking around the track, that was actually there. Because I always walk the track and race the track, and I'm just looking at the track and where the track's going and trying to figure out what line I'm going to take and which is the fastest way around. And it never once crossed my mind that if I get a bit of a swapper and go over there, it could be bad news. Top of the second climb and heading into the third one. I think there's 4 in total, but it's quite a turn here. You know, it's not a straight run up here at all. When you get over that second one, and this is where famously Thorpe passed Gabors in '89, I think, in his titanic battle around here. You can see them leant over, so it was probably he drew level with him on this rise here.
Side by side over the jump, and Thorpe's got past Gabors. They lock handlebars as they go through, but Thorpe's done it.
But yeah, it's a bit of a kink to the right, and if you went straight on, you die. It's a bit rocky here, but trust me when I tell you that Sittendorf in Austria was far more rocky than this place. Obviously this is rain damage that's done this, but nevertheless, oh, nearly went. Nevertheless, the rocks were there underneath. It's okay, I survived. Trying to walk up a steep rocky slope and carrying a camera in your one hand is not the best for balance, but we're okay. So that was the third climb, and this is the fourth one up onto the flat, which would be almost the highest part of the circuit. And I think I'm going to take the easy route round there. So that's the top of the fourth and final climb, with a short straight into a left-right chicane. Now, I did actually crash into one of these trees here one year. I can't remember which it was, can't remember the specifics, but I guess I came over this hill, caught an edge, the bike landed with the wheel off to one side, flicked the other way, and then boof, into probably the first or second tree here. There were bales on it, and I didn't hurt myself, but yeah, not a nice thing to do, crash into a tree. Now up here there was a little dinky left-right chicane. I'm guessing it it went around that tree right in front of me and then into a drop off camber left at the bottom. So I'm guessing we were coming probably up here. So that's where we come from, up here, and then it probably kinked left here and then right here, because I remember that the bike was still leant over as you went off this drop off. The bike just come off the ground a bit. But I saw Stefan Everts in later years just doing this feet up and like a trials rider and going just as fast as I used to, trying to do it sat down. So we just plop off here, probably land about a third of the way down that hill and then into that left-hander. So I'll turn the camera off until I safely negotiate this hill, and I'll see you in a moment. So this bit's exactly as I remember it. So we drop off that hill down here, pretty much where this footpath goes, but we turned a little bit before that footpath, so we were going inside of that tree right in the center of the camera there. So there were fences on the outside, hay bales on that tree. So this was a fast left-hander coming out of here in third, and then up to that jump there, up onto the esplanade. And I got a great picture of myself and Eric Gabors coming over that jump. But that building obviously wasn't there. Let's just walk up there now. Something else I can tell you is that it was always a bit dark. You're going in and out of sun and shade through most of this lap. So you come down into this part here and it's very dark. And as you come up here, depending on the time of the day, it was very bright. So it was difficult to see your lines. Your eyes take a moment to adjust to the different brightness. But this was a blind jump that was not flat out, because just beyond this jump, beyond this hill, they built a tabletop. I guess that probably wasn't there in the 70s, but in my era, in the 80s, you went out of here and then into the face of a steep tabletop. So third gear, out of the woodland, up this ramp, pretty fast off this ramp, and then that building wasn't there. So there was a tabletop, I would guess, about level with that grey Renault there, which was quite a long tabletop that probably, the downslope was probably by the entrance to that building, and then that would lead back into the first turn again. So this was a fun jump. Again, back in the day, they didn't really know how to build jumps very well, so I remember it was quite a long tabletop, but it was a very steep up ramp and a very steep down ramp. So if you ride, you'll know that those are quite difficult to hit. You haven't got much leeway on your landing when you've got to land on such a steep downslope. So to start with, a lot of the GP guys couldn't get their head around that, but I was pretty good at jumps, so I didn't mind it. So that's what we would see if we look to our right as we completed the lap. So again, the Stade de Jeux, start gate will be down level with about that where that grey van is now. But for the rider rejoining, starting another lap, I should say, so he's finishing the lap. That first corner was going through this building here, which I think is it's a museum or something. So the first turn will be sweeping through here, and then round by that van there with the roof rack on it, and the finish line will be down what was the second straight. So there we have it. That's my track walk of Namur. Hope you've enjoyed watching this. It's been fantastic for me. It's a shame that some of it is overgrown and I couldn't really tell where the track went, but a lot of the major iconic parts are still there. And it feels a little bit sad to be back here as well, because I just remember this as, being here at the event when it was all noise and crowds and colours, and it was just in its heyday, and now it's no more. But equally, I feel very fortunate, lucky, privileged to have happened to get good at motocross at the right time, and to have been able to take part in the Belgian 500 GP at Namur. It's a real privilege to have done that. So yeah, hope you enjoy it, and thanks for watching.
you could read my mind, love, what a tale my thoughts could tell. Just like an old-time movie about a ghost from a wishing well, in a castle dark or a fortress strong, with chains upon my feet. You know that ghost is me, and I will never be set free as long as I'm a ghost you can't see. If I could read your mind, love, what a tale your thoughts could tell. Just like a paperback novel, the kind the drugstore sells. When you reach the part where the heartaches come, the hero would be me. The heroes often fail, and you won't read that book again because the ending's just too hard to take. Like a movie star who gets burned in a three-way script into number 2. A movie queen to play the scene of bringing all the good things out in me. But for now, love, let's be real, I never thought I could act this way, and I've got to say that I just don't get it. I don't know where we went wrong, but the feeling's gone and I just can't get it back. If you could read my mind, love, what a tale my thoughts could tell. Just like an old-time movie about a ghost from a wishing well, in a castle dark or a fortress strong, with chains upon my feet. The stories always end. If you read between the lines, you'll know that I'm just trying to understand that you laugh. I never thought I could feel this way, and I've got to say that I just don't get it. I don't know where we went wrong, but the feeling